Thank you for downloading this RealAgriculture podcast. Excite your crops with inputs from Excite Bio. Access nitrogen and phosphorus with Excite Bio's lineup of inoculants and ag biologicals. Since 2010, they've been helping farmers harness the power of the soil. Learn more at excitebio.ca. That's XITEBIO.ca.
Joined right now by Basil Gooden. He is the Undersecretary for Rural Development with USDA.
Good, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Really a pleasure to talk to you today about the great things that we're doing at USDA Rural Development.
So what are some of the things that are going on? Obviously, rural development is key across rural America. There's a lot of projects. I'm sure one thing is you're not short of things to try to tackle.
Absolutely. So in our portfolio, we have about 74 programs, all designed to improve rural livability, the health and well-being of folks in rural America. So we do everything from housing, we do infrastructure, we do health care, but we also invest in high-speed internet, broadband. So again, things that can make rural America more appealing place to live, to raise a family. So we're excited about the work that we do, but really want to talk a little bit today about our Rural Energy for America program, our REAP program, which is designed to actually reduce the energy costs for farmers, ranchers, and producers and small business across rural America. Tremendous impact that program has been made over the last 4 years, investing more than $1 billion, impacting more than 7,000 projects across the country.
Okay, so what are you doing inside of that to help reduce some of those costs?
So yeah, really that program focuses on either improving energy efficiency of their operations, and really farmers and ranchers love this because it, again, reduces the cost of their energy, or you can install renewable energy systems altogether. And so we will actually provide grants up to 50% of the cost of the project. And so, again, that really is a game changer for a lot of these farmers and ranchers, producers. But really the thing that we really like to emphasize is the reduction in the cost. This administration really has been focused on reducing the cost to small and mid-sized farmers, really to be able to recognize some savings that they can invest in other parts of their operations.
On the larger farmer side, is there a cap? Like when you say there's a 50% program to cover some of those costs, is there a total dollar cap on some of those requests?
Yeah, so the programs they range from actually, we see the costs really vary across the country, but the cap is $1 million. It goes up to $1 million but we also have REAP loans that we can actually lend money if farmers, ranchers, producers, or small businesses want to borrow money to install larger projects as well.
Can you give me a tangible, practical example of give me what one of those projects would be? Like, what am I upgrading to? Is it like an upgrade to solar? Is it maybe a more efficient heating system for my hog barn? What exactly are some of those projects?
All of the above, actually, yes. And so many great examples. I know in Wise County, Virginia, there's a dairy farm there that actually benefited from actually installing solar panels on their dairy farm on top of some of the houses, some of the milking houses. And so, again, they saw a tremendous reduction in their energy costs, which again results in savings and again practicality of rural people, understanding savings. That they're all in with these programs.
Mr. Undersecretary, I want to talk about rural broadband.
Sure.
USDA has announced a lot of money for rural broadband. Are we moving the needle at all in that area?
We are, and we are tremendously. We're moving the needle, and I know you do hear a lot about we come out cutting the ribbons and making announcements. Again, we just made an announcement last month about $173 million that we invested through our Reconnect program to really impact broadband. So what you do see is those announcements, but behind the scenes, once we do leave, the work is being done. Communities are being connected, and so we are moving the needle. Certainly, far more. If you look at the mapping, far more communities are being served by broadband and the services that we provide in conjunction with the other federal agencies and even state agencies as well, because we work in tandem with state and federal and local organizations to really address these needs, these internet needs in these rural communities. So we are moving the needle. I know sometimes it's hard to see. A lot of these projects do take a long time. But again, we provide the resources, the technical assistance as well. But we are moving the needle in rural America, and it's making a difference for a lot of people, farmers, ranchers, small business, and just rural people in general.
I'm trying to remember back to the opening of our discussion here. Is rural healthcare a component of your department?
It is, yeah, absolutely. And thanks for raising that. We do. We invest heavily in rural hospitals, trying to make sure that these hospitals remain open, or even I've had the honor of going to a ribbon cutting where we were able to reopen 2 rural hospitals that were closed, one in Oklahoma and one actually in North Dakota. And so we were very, very excited to invest in healthcare, but we also invest in medical centers, medical clinics, really trying to provide high quality healthcare closer to the communities that we serve in rural America. So we invest heavily. We also have a program called Distance Learning and Telemedicine program where we actually provide grants and funding to actually improve telemedicine and telehealth out in these rural communities as well. So again, people can go to www.rd.usda.gov to find out more about our programs, certainly around whether it's housing, renewable energy, healthcare, but also community facilities. We also invest in things like making sure that there's adequate child care facilities in some of these areas, because that's an economic issue that we hear a lot about.
Just the topics that we've discussed here, and they're not all inclusive of all the different things that you were doing in your department. How do you decide? Like, there has to be so many requests and so many different projects. How do you make the decision on where the money needs to go?
Sure. No, we actually work in tandem with community leaders. We work in tandem with congressional members, Congress. But this administration has prioritized serving communities that have been traditionally underserved and may not have benefited from our programs at rural development. And so we put a sincere focus on these communities, making sure that we're reaching some of the underserved communities as well. But our programs have a tremendous impact, and it's hard to decide, whether it's a housing program, but we really listen to the communities and really get the feedback, and we, understand the needs. One community may already be served by broadband or internet, and so we focus on, housing or some of the healthcare needs or infrastructure needs, because we also really heavily invested in clean water. Making sure that, again, farmers, ranchers, producers have the resources that they need to be viable and successful in this environment.
Can you give us any sort of idea before we wrap up here, just what is the total budget for rural development? Like, when we talk about the portfolio here, like I'm having a hard time getting through to my head. I'm trying to do calculations in my head. Sure. The number's big. Sure.
No, the number is big. And so over the years, so right now in our portfolio, we have it's $243 billion in our portfolio. The bulk of which actually is in our housing program, because we actually provide direct loans to individuals, mortgages in rural America. But we also do loan guarantees when other financial institutions are looking at providing housing loans. So we do a lot of loan guarantees. So right now, again, that's what's in our portfolio now. Each year we have the lending authority of about $60 billion annually. And so, again, we have about 70 programs, all designed to improve rural America, and we do an excellent job. We have a great workforce across America that we serve. And so, again, we're excited about the work, do some great things, and we do move the needle in rural America.
Great stuff. Undersecretary Gooden, thanks so much for spending some time with me, and enjoy the rest of NAFB.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.